Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Abby and thank you so much for practicing with me. Today I have a power class for you, so go ahead and grab those blocks. You will be needing them, or if you've got books, anything that will support you really well, go ahead and grab those. We will be using them pretty soon within the practice, so have them beside you and then keep them handy throughout the class if you do use them. If not, we will meet here in Shavasana, beginning the practice lying down, just connecting with your body and breath. Allowing the breath to lengthen out, concentrating on that Ujjayi breathing. So inhales and exhales out through the nose. Nice long breath and calm. Knowing that this practice is just for you, and not allowing maybe ego to get in the way, not comparing your practice from one day to the next. Especially through times like these, it can feel so different with the body from what you're doing from one day and then the other. So just being here now and taking your practice as it comes today. And on your next inhale, you'll draw your knees towards your chest and just give yourself a really nice good hug, good squeeze. If you would like, you can always round your shoulders off the floor and really become a little ball. And then you can gently release back down and grab those blocks. We're going to bring them down beside our hips here, so just actually slightly further past our hips. We are going to come into a core drill, one of my favorites that I've come across from an amazing teacher here in Vancouver. And you can feel free to take a look at me first as I demo the first few rounds maybe, and then we can go through it together. So arms are going to be above your head. Legs are going to be strong. As you inhale, legs lift and shoulders lift off the floor. So shoulders and legs are at a hover, a few inches off of the mat. You're breathing here, really drawing that belly button in towards your chest, in towards your spine. And then on your next breath, you can gently release and relax that. That little lift of the legs and shoulders is the first part of the core drill. We are going to add on. So just getting back to your breath. On your next inhale, lift shoulders and legs off of the floor, nice and controlled, trying to keep that body nice and stable. Belly button draws in and up, relaxing your shoulders away from the ears. And now on your next breath, you're going to use the momentum, swing your legs, feet towards your head, and then you're going to swing up, finding your hands to come down onto the blocks or those books to lift your hips high, almost coming into an arm balancing shape. And then you'll gently release back down all the way onto your back. So we're swinging those legs, lifting them up towards your head, and then we're kind of using that momentum from our legs to lift our hips high. Again, we'll come into that if you want to take a look. So lifting your shoulders and legs off the mat. Next breath, use the momentum of your legs to lift your hips high, maybe lifting your full leg off of the mat by lifting your feet, and then gently releasing back down as you exhale. Breathing here, getting your breath back if you've lost it, using your breath through these transitions here and trying to make these movements really nice and smooth. Preparing for your next set. On your next inhale, shoulders and legs lift, exhaling there. Now inhale, swing those legs towards your head, use that momentum to lift your hips high, hands come to blocks or the floor, and then gently releasing back down onto your mat. Deep breaths between sets, trying to keep the body nice and controlled and calm. Resetting here. Again, inhale, lift legs, lift shoulder off the mat, exhaling there. Now inhale, those legs lift and you find that momentum to lift your hips high, maybe lifting your heels off the floor as well. And then gently releasing back down as you exhale, coming all the way back down onto your back. Breathing there. Being really nice and smooth with those movements. Next set, inhaling to lift the shoulders and legs, Connecting with your breath, use that momentum, find your hands to the blocks, lift your hips high, maybe lifting your heels, keeping those legs strong. And then from there, you can gently release your hips down and removing the blocks away from the hips. And from there, shifting into a tabletop position, beginning with some wrist warm-ups here. So just finding your alignment, shoulders are stacked over the wrists, hips are stacked over the knees. And we'll come into one of my favorites, wrist stretches here. So you're going to turn your fingers away from the midline of the body. So they should be facing the long length of your mat. And then making sure that you're really pressing through your hands, you're just going to gently shift from side to side here, slightly overextending into that shoulder past the wrist, and then just really working into that wrist crease, really breathing deeply as you move from side to side and just warming it up into those wrists here. After a few rounds of that, you'll just gently release that, and then you're actually going to flip your palms up. So palms are going to face towards your face, fingers are facing one another, and again, you're just going to rock from side to side here, allowing the top of the hand to be on the mat, really gently coming into that wrist movement here, really breathing deeply. You're trying to control those movements as you warm up into your wrists. And then from there, you can just gently release that, sit back on your heels, and you can do a few wrist circles here, anything that really feels great to release that. Maybe extending your fingers and then bringing them into a fist, gentle shakes, whatever feels most natural to you. Just breathing here and feeling that release within the wrists. And giving them your one final shake there. And then we'll shift back into a tabletop position, preparing for cat-cow. So again, finding that alignment, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and using your breath as you inhale, shifting your gaze up, bending in through your spine, and then as you exhale, rounding through, trying to look towards your belly button. Again, inhale, arching your spine, shifting your gaze, and exhaling to really round through, curling through that spine. Inhaling to arch, really using the full breath as you move, and exhaling to round through. Taking these movements as slow or fast as it feels best for your body. No need to match my movement or speed. And just breathing and keeping that breath connected with movement. And just taking a few more rounds here in your cat-cow. And we'll inhale back up into a tall spine, a nice neutral spine, coming into a scapula warm-up that I always like to do if I'm just feeling a little disconnected with my shoulders. So you're staying in your tabletop position, and all you're going to do is allow your shoulders to relax. So it's almost as if you're collapsing into your shoulder girdles like I'm doing here. And then as you exhale, you're pressing away and doming into your upper back. Inhaling to collapse into your shoulders, and as you exhale, press away, doming into your upper back. Again, using your breath to collapse, and then inhaling to dome. From there, you can stay in the tabletop position, or if you wanted to try that little scapula warm-up in plank, you can go ahead like I'm doing here. So in your plank pose, you're really activating through your body. You're collapsing through those shoulder girdles, and then find that activation by really pressing through, finding that dome sensation in your upper back. You should really feel your core fire up. You should feel those shoulders really connected, and you should feel a lot more supported. From there, if you're in tabletop or plank, just lift your hips high and find your first down dog of the day, maybe bending in through your knees, doing whatever feels most organic to you and your body, especially in the first down dog. Finishing your last breath, and we'll inhale to gently come to the top of the mat, making your way there, and just hang heavy in a really nice passive forward fold. Maybe grabbing for opposite elbows, or allowing the arms to dangle heavy. Just really trying to release, feeling those hamstrings, breathing into this really nice long stretch. And finding some activation here. On your next inhale, find length in your spine, lifting halfway. And then as you exhale, you can gently fold forward over your legs. Again, we'll inhale to find length, and we'll come into an IT band stretch here. So bring a deep bend into your right knee. Right hand comes towards, right underneath your right shoulder, towards the midline of your mat. And you'll inhale to extend your left arm up. Here you can do some arm circles, so really doing big circles with your left arm, and then gently allowing that hand to land, really reaching up high towards the ceiling. Keeping that left leg straight, right leg stays bent. You should feel a really nice stretch on the side of your left hip here. Just trying to breathe deeply into that breath. And on your next exhalation, you can gently release, unravel, untwist. Inhale, find length in your spine, lifting halfway. And then as you exhale, folding forward over your legs and setting up for the left side. So here, taking a deep bend, this time into the left knee, reaching right arm up to the sky, and take really big, huge circles here into your arm. Either small or big, really doesn't matter. And then allowing that right hand to find the length and reaching towards the ceiling, resting there, breathing into that straight leg, right leg. Always feeling free to bring a block underneath the hand if you need a bit of extra height or length, I should say. Feeling that twist in the mid-spine through your upper back as well. And then on your next breath, gently unraveling and releasing down into a forward fold. Inhaling to come all the way up to stand, arms raise overhead, and then as you exhale, hands come down. Setting up here for our sun salutations. Inhale, reaching your arms overhead. Exhale, folding forward over your legs. Inhale, lift halfway, finding length in your spine. As you exhale, hands plant down, stepping back, moving through your plank to chaturanga, option for knees to lower. As you inhale, finding your back bend, either cobra or up dog. And then as you exhale, lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Breathing there, keeping that connection with your breath. On your next inhale, lifting your toes, and as you exhale, either jump, step, or float to the top of the mat. Right away, lift halfway, creating length in your spine, and as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reaching your arms up high, coming to stand, and as you exhale, hands come down beside the body. Second set, inhale, arms reach. And as you exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhaling, finding length in your spine. Exhale, move through your chaturanga. Inhaling up into your back bend. And exhaling to lift your hips into a downward facing dog. Still bringing movement into this down dog if you need, or finding that stillness, whatever is best for you. Breathing strong. Really finding that connection with the earth through your hands and your feet. Inhaling to lift the toes, and then as you exhale, making your way to the top of the mat. Right away, finding length in your spine, lifting halfway, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reaching your arms up high, and as you exhale, hands come down through heart center and down by your sides. Coming into sun bees now, so as you inhale, bending in through your knees, finding chair pose. And then as you exhale, folding forward over your legs. Inhale, find length, lift halfway. As you exhale, hands down, move through your chaturanga. Inhaling up in through your back bend. Exhale to lift your hips high, down dog. And right away, we'll step our right foot forward, finding warrior one. Left heel comes down at a 45-degree angle. Arms come high. And then as you exhale, move through your chaturanga. Use that inhale, finding your back bend. And exhale, down dog. Right away, left side, left foot steps forward, warrior one. Arms reach high. And exhale, move through your chaturanga. Inhale, find back bend. And exhale, find down dog. Bring more movement here into the sun B's here. So really, again, finding that breath, bringing stillness into the body again now, and really trying to connect. On your next inhale, lifting your toes, and then as you exhale, making your way to the top of the mat. Right away, lifting and to lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold, and inhale, bending in through your knees, find chair pose. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose, extending the legs long. Second set, inhale, bending in through your knees, chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, hands plant down, move through your chaturanga. Inhale, find back bend. And exhale, down dog. Right foot steps forward, warrior one. Arms lengthen to the sky. And exhale, hands come down, framing the right foot. Move through your chaturanga. Inhaling, find your back bend. And exhaling, down dog. Left side on the inhale, warrior one. Full breath. And then as you exhale, hands come down, move through your chaturanga. Inhale finds back bend. And exhale finds down dog. Breathing into the entire body, feeling all the sensations, feeling that heart maybe pumping a little faster, but lengthening out your breath to control. On your next breath, coming to the top of the mat, lifting half, finding your tall spine. As you exhale, fold forward, and inhale, bend knees, find chair pose. And then as you exhale, extend those legs. Tadasana. And as you inhale, lengthening your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, folding forward. Inhale, find length in your spine. And then as you exhale, option to move through a flow or meeting us back in a downward facing dog. Breathing here in down dog. We're going to set up for a three-legged dog. So as you inhale, lifting your right leg to the sky, keeping those hips nice and square, really grounding down, pressing through those hands, that entire palm. Right leg is really nice and active. Those toes are lifting high. Now as you exhale, shift into a three-legged plank pose. So right leg is still lifted, you're really pressing through your hands. Left leg is strong. Breathing here. Belly button draws in towards the spine. And next breath, extend back into a three-legged dog. As you exhale, send that right foot forward and through, and setting up for a high lunge here. So that left heel is lifted. You're taking a nice deep bend into that right leg. Self-adjustment here by bending into that left knee to tuck that tailbone in and under, finding length through your entire spine. And then extending that left leg back long, feeling really supported through both of your legs. Keeping that connection. And then on your next inhale, we're going to bring our hands down to our hips. Step that left foot in slightly to bring both of your feet flat, and you're going to straighten out that right leg, setting yourself up for pyramid pose. On your next inhale, find length through your spine, and then as you exhale, you're going to start to fold forward over that right leg. Really grounding down, pressing through that right foot, making sure you're not locking into that right knee joint, and you're really finding that connection with your core to support your upper body. You really want to feel really nice and active here as you're feeling this sensation within the back of the right leg. Now we're going to come into a revolved variation, bring our left hand down beside the right foot, extending your right arm up towards the sky. So only twisting from our spine, checking in, making sure our hips are still square to the front of the room and that there's equal weight between both of your feet. You're just breathing into your twist. Every exhale, feel as if you're twisting a little bit deeper here. Relaxing that shoulder away from the ear. Now on your next inhale, keeping your left hand down where it is, we're going to come into a revolved lunging pose. So rebending into that right knee, extending that left foot further back behind you. And you can keep your hand where it is, or option to take the variation like I'm doing, and I'm bringing my left hand to the outside of my right foot. This is a pretty intense twist, so do what's best in your body, but just finding whatever variation of a revolved lunge that you like. Now setting ourselves up for a revolved half moon, a balance, drawing that left hand forward, so you're coming to balance and standing on your right leg. Left hand is finding the floor underneath your left shoulder. Right arm is reaching up. Your left leg is lifted and really nice and strong back behind you, feeling that twist throughout your spine. Option to come in revolved sugar cane, where you're bending into your left knee and taking hold of your foot with your right hand. Wherever you are, releasing that bind, releasing that balance, and we'll inhale up. And we'll come and do that all on the other side. So we're pivoting to the back of our mat, finding a high lunge on the left leg. You're grounding down, pressing through that left foot as you're bending into that left knee, feeling that hamstring engage as your right leg is long back behind you. Doing that self-adjustment where you're slightly bending into through that right knee to tuck your tailbone in and under, feeling that nice tall spine. Finding that intensity you had on the right side here on the left. And we'll bring our hands down onto our hips, and we'll shorten our stance, coming into our pyramid pose. Feeling that activation, that support through our upper body, pressing through your left foot as you inhale, find length. And then as you exhale, start to fold forward over that left leg. Slight bend into that left knee, making sure you're not locking into that knee joint. Allowing the spine to grow tall, the crown of the head is lengthening forward. You're really breathing deeply here. Finding our revolved variation, right hand comes down to the inside of the left foot, and left arm extends up towards the ceiling or sky, finding that twist through your spine. And just checking in, making sure you're not revolving, twisting in through your hips, only through your back here. Every exhale, maybe twisting a bit deeper. And gaze can be down at your hand by the floor or up towards your top hand. Now getting ready for our revolved lunge, so wiggling that right foot further back as we rebend into that left knee. Right hand stays planted where it is, or coming into a deeper twist where you bring your right hand to the outside of the left foot. Really feeling that deep twisting lunge here. Working on only allowing the twist to come from your spine. Still feeling really nice and active through those legs. Gently releasing, finding our revolved half moon balance. Shifting your weight forward into that left foot, extending that right leg long behind you. Right hand finds the floor for support. Finding your twist through that spine. Maybe gaze looks up towards the left hand, maybe not today. An option to come into your revolved sugar cane where you're bending in through that back knee and you're taking hold of that foot with your left hand. Wherever you are, just breathing here in this balance. And as you release, just gently releasing as controlled as you can. And we're going to shift forward to the side, and coming into Skandasana. So shift forward back to the top of your mat, into that right foot, bending deeply into that right leg. Left leg is long, left heel is on the floor, left toes face the ceiling. So we're coming into this nice deep side lunge here, really pressing firmly through that right foot, finding that length through your spine, and that left leg is strong. Next inhalation, you can gently shift back, finding Skandasana on the left side here. Deep bend into the left knee, finding your half squat position through that left side, and your right leg is long and strong. Right toes are facing the ceiling. Allowing the crown of your head to lengthen towards the ceiling. Breathing there. Again, gently releasing, inhaling, coming back to the right side, finding Skandasana there for one last moment. And again, shift back with breath to the left side. Inhaling, coming to the top. Just shifting from side to side with breath here. Making your movements smooth. Just breathing into your hips. On your next inhale, finding the top of the mat, coming into a downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting your left leg high, three-legged down dog. Breathing here, that left leg is nice and active. Hips are square to the front of the mat. And then on your next inhale, finding your three-legged plank like we did at the beginning of the sequence. So your left leg is lifted. You're really nice and strong as if you're doing a full plank pose here. And exhalation, lift back up, three-legged down dog, lifting that left leg high. Releasing back down to a full downward facing dog. Option to move through a chaturanga for a reset, or finding a child's pose, which is where we'll meet now. So releasing your knees down, allowing the hips to sink down towards the heels, and just finding your breath if you've lost it here in child's pose. Allowing the body to rest and relax here. Allowing the breath to calm. And on your next inhale, we'll make our way back into a downward facing dog. So really nice and slowly making your way there. On your next inhale, finding plank pose, and we're going to shift into a side plank. If you wanted to take a look at the video for a moment, I'm going to demo again a scapula warm-up here. So releasing my right knee down onto the floor just for a bit of extra support. I'm in my side plank, balancing on my right hand. My left leg is extended long. If you can see as I'm doing, I'm collapsing into that shoulder girdle, and then I'm pressing my right hand away, finding that activation within my shoulder. This is always really fun to do, just to see how you're feeling and seeing the difference of that activation within your side plank here. So inhaling, finding your full side plank. Option, you can keep your right knee down or feet stack on top of one another or one in front of the other, whatever is most supportive for you. But try to feel that activation through that shoulder girdle, feeling really supported. On your next exhalation, you can release your left hand back down, finding a full plank, and we'll shift onto side plank on the other side, shifting weight into the left hand. Option to release your knee, right hand really lifts high. You're trying to be as strong as you can through your lower body, allowing your core to easily connect upper and lower body together. Feeling that left hand firmly plant down, allowing that strength and support to ripple through your entire shoulder, your entire body. And then you can gently release back down through plank and lift your hips high into a downward facing dog. And on your next inhale, reaching your right leg to the sky, three-legged down dog. And as you exhale, you're stepping that right foot forward and through, and we're going to set up for a half split. So you're shifting your left hip over that left knee and working on straightening out the right leg. Right toes are flexing towards the body, making sure that right leg is nice and strong and active as we're giving it that stretch. Finding length, creating space in through your spine. Exhaling to maybe fold a bit deeper over that right thigh. On your next inhale, shifting that right foot back flat, rebending into that knee, finding lizard pose here. So you're going to shift your right foot to the outside of your hands. That left knee is still on the floor. Option to always lift it if you would like a bit more activation. Coming into a twist, we're going to keep our left hand down, right hand comes to the thigh, gently looking past that right shoulder. Now we will activate through that left leg by lifting the left knee. Coming into a side plank variation, as you're pivoting onto the edge of that left foot, your right foot is going to move so it's in line with your belly button. Right knee is still bent, toes are facing away from the body. Inhaling here in this side plank. Then as you exhale, you're going to allow your hips to come down towards the floor, like I'm doing here. Inhale, lifting your hips high, coming into your side plank variation. And then as you exhale, allow your hips to gently come down towards the floor. Coming in waves, inhale to lift high. Now we're going to come into a full side plank. Option to step that right foot down beside the left, or binding towards those right toes and lifting that right leg up, coming into a full Vashisthasana side plank pose. Any variation that is your favorite will do, just trying to be nice and controlled and stable in that side plank. Gently releasing on your next breath. Option here to move through a flow or meet us back in a downward facing dog. Just resetting there in down dog, trying not to move, just trying to allow the body to relax in stillness. Now as you inhale, left leg lifts and lengthens. And as you exhale, stepping that left foot through, finding our half split shape. As you're in your half split, we're just trying to lengthen out that left leg, keeping it nice and long as we're lengthening out through our spine. Inhales, feeling that length through the spine. And then as you exhale, maybe folding deeper over that left leg. And on your next inhale, bring that left foot back flat, finding our lizard pose, wiggling your left foot to the outside of the hands, finding the left side of the mat, and breathing here into our right hip. Feeling that twist, that right hand stays planted, left hand comes to the top of the thigh, and we'll come into that side plank variation. As we come onto the edge of our right foot, our left foot comes down towards the midline of our body in line with our belly button. As you inhale, finding your length and strength, and then as you exhale, you're allowing your hips to settle down towards the floor. Inhale, find your side plank variation, and then as you exhale, allow your hips to come down towards the floor. Again, inhale, finding your side plank, and we'll shift into our full side plank variation now. So either left foot can meet the right, or option to lift that left foot high, maybe binding your toes, coming into your split. Wherever you are, you're firmly pressing that right hand away from into the floor to activate through that shoulder. And then nice and controlled, releasing your side plank. Option to move through a flow and meet us back in a downward facing dog. And we will come into a child's pose. So release your knees down, relax those shoulders. You can keep your arms extended out forward ahead of you, or hands can come down beside your heels. Allow those shoulders to round. Whatever is best for you. Just trying to connect back with your breath. And I did go a little fast throughout that last sequence, so feel free please to go ahead and pause, take a look, and run through it again with me. It is one of my favorites to do. And from child's pose, just lift your hips high and find a downward facing dog, setting ourselves up for a pigeon pose here. As you inhale to reach your right leg high, use your exhalation to draw that right knee to just outside of your right wrist, allowing that right foot to come close towards your left hip, just as you're setting yourself up here in this deep hip opening posture. So making sure that you have equal weight between both your front leg and your back leg. You don't want more weight to be on one side compared to the other, because that will cause a lot of discomfort within the hips as you're settling into the posture, and as well potential damage on your joints. So making sure your right foot is nice and flexed, you're protecting your knee joint. And if you're feeling nice and stable and even here within your body weight, you can always look to intensify by bringing that shin more parallel to the top of the mat on the right side. If this is a bit too intense for you within the hips and you are feeling some pain in your knees, you can always feel free to come down to laying on your back and doing a thread the needle pose. So just breathing there, we're gonna inhale to lift up out of that pigeon pose just for a moment, and we'll find a three-legged downward facing dog, just releasing that, allowing the hips to do some circles if you need anything to release before we come onto the other side. Inhaling to lift your left leg high, and then again as you exhale, settle into your pigeon or your reclined thread the needle pose on your back. We're only here for a few moments, so just trying to make sure you're really setting your body up for success, making sure there's no discomfort in any joints. You're feeling really supported by blocks or by the activation through your legs. Making sure your left foot is flexed, protecting that knee joint, and just allowing the body to relax further into these hips. Really feeling passive but active, supporting that left leg by making sure your leg's nice and strong. Now we'll come out, so as you inhale, just gently, nice and slowly making your way back into a downward facing dog. Maybe coming back into a three-legged dog, doing some hip circles here, whatever feels best. And releasing back down. And on your next inhale, finding your plank pose here. And we're gonna take a really nice slow lower all the way down onto our belly. So for a count of 4, 3, 2, and 1, gently allow the body to land. Releasing your hands down beside you. Bring your right ear to the mat and looking over your right shoulder. Just being really passive here, allowing the body to relax. Preparing for back bending here. And on your next inhale, you're going to bring your head back through the center and draw your hands back behind you, interlacing your fingers. Drawing your legs towards one another and really feeling strong. As you inhale, start to lift your chest off of the floor and then allow your legs to lift off the floor as well, coming into a full Shavasana pose. So you're using the strength of your spine here to lift the upper body and lower body high. You're trying to allow those hands to come away from the body, drawing towards the fields. Relaxing your shoulders away from the ears and just looking just ahead of your mat. On your next exhale, really nice and gently releasing that. Legs and upper body come down to the floor. Bring your left ear to the mat, looking over your right shoulder. Allowing that to reset and just breathing into your spine, breathing into your neck. On your next inhale, we'll draw our head again back through to center and we'll bend in through our knees, setting up for bow pose here. Bending in through your knees, grabbing onto the outsides of your feet. As you inhale, you're going to start to use the strength of your spine to lift your chest. And then as you exhale, start to kick your feet into your hands using the strength of your legs to lift your legs higher off the floor. This back bend is coming from the kick of your feet into your hands to lift your legs higher, and we're bringing a deeper back bend into our chest. Next inhale, lift a little higher. And then as you exhale, nice and gently releasing bow pose, allowing again your right ear to come down to the floor, releasing that back bend. Inhale, draw head back through to center, and we'll just bend in through the knees and just we're gonna come into a second set of bow pose. So taking that same grip like you did before, grabbing to the outsides of the feet. As you inhale, start to kick into your feet to lift your legs higher, finding your back bend. Or if you do have a flipped grip variation in your practice, you can go ahead and do that like I'm doing. So you're grabbing back to catch your feet, you're flipping your grip to lift your legs higher, and you're almost creating a teardrop effect within your spine and body. So wherever you are, whatever your back bend looks like, keep those movements controlled as you really nice and gently release, allowing your head to come fully back down onto the earth, allowing your spine to be neutral. Drawing your hands underneath your shoulders, nice and slowly press yourself back into a child's pose. Allowing that to be counterbalanced into our spine. Really breathing into your entire body here. Letting that release, feeling the sensations of the back bend of the entire practice. Taking a few more moments here. And then whenever you're ready, you're just going to make your way onto your back. Starting to close the practice off, we're going to finish with a reclined spinal twist. So coming on to laying on your back, drawing your knees in towards your chest, and allowing your feet to come down to the floor. You're going to cross your right leg over your left leg as if you were crossing your legs on a chair. And then as you do that, you're going to allow your legs to fall over towards the left side as you look over your right shoulder. Arms can be extended into a T shape. Just breathing here into this reclined twist. If this is a bit too much on your lower spine with the legs crossed like this, you can always unravel them and allow them to stack on top of one another. Just feeling the benefits within the twist, feeling the spine release, feeling the shoulders fall closer towards the floor. Allowing your mind to go soft and quiet as well. Every exhale, feeling as if you're twisting deeper, feeling heavier. And really nice and slowly, on your next inhale, we'll just unravel the legs and bring your legs back up through to center. And then just crossing the right leg over the left. Allow those legs to fall over towards the right side this time as you look over your left shoulder. Allowing the weight of your legs and the weight of your upper body to release yourself nice and passively into this twist. Trying to find that same depth of relaxation you had on the other side as you breathe here. Taking a few more moments here. Every exhale, releasing further. And then we'll gently release that, unraveling from that twist. And you can find your final pose, Shavasana. So extending your limbs out long, taking up as much space as you possibly could want or need. And just allow the mind and body to go quiet and calm, allowing it to relax after the practice and recover. Staying here for as long as you could want. I thank you so much for joining me today on this practice. Have a fantastic day. Namaste.